What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, picks, analysis, opinions, and some bets. Before we get into the full card, let's talk about last week. We are on a roll. We hit 10 of 11 for our picks and 9 of 11 for our bets. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, make sure you follow us on X. We are growing that community. We drop our immediate fight analysis, round by round analysis with the live odds changing. If you're not able to watch the fight or if you're busy with whatever life throws at you, make sure you tap into X. We give you a full recap of how the fight went down. I'm gonna pass the rock to you, my man. How you doing today?
Brother, I'm vibing, but listen, let's talk about these bets from last week. We hit 9 out of 11 bets. It was silky smooth. The biggest winner was a plus 1400. Sergey Pavlov's win by unanimous decision. That was the golden goose. Bet 100 to make 1400, which is not a bad thing. That was a live bet. That wasn't
Mm-hmm.
called. But we did call a bunch. We called two different parlays. We called Page. We called Thiam. We called Hamdi. Um, Naimov. We called, Oliveira. So there were quite a lot of, parlays. I think this is the most successful betting um, as a group, because sometimes you do very good at betting, I do very good at betting, but this weekend we both did very good.
Yeah, and we're continuously hoping to improve on that, and we're always going to be transparent. We're always going to hold ourselves accountable. Whether it's with our picks or with our bets. Not every week is solid. This is a very volatile sport, right? A very volatile sport. It's very unpredictable. We're not in there fighting for the fighter, so we don't know what's going on. A lot of people pick Davis to beat Ziam, right? And I think a lot of people were harping on the fact that he's the better striker. He was going to utilize his wrestling, but I don't think anybody predicted he was going to pull guard within the first 5-10 seconds, right? So that's how unpredictable this sport is. But make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, make sure you follow us, make sure you show some love. We aren't going anywhere. We drop our full card analysis and our reaction videos, and we're active on X, so show some love. Drop a comment for the algorithm. All right, let's get into this card, my man. Kicking off the card, we have some flyweights. We have Hyun-sung Park up against Noam Jargal, Tumendemberel. Park is 9-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Shannon Ross via KO TKO, whereas Tumendemberel is 8-1-0 and lost in his UFC debut. He is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Carlos Hernandez via split decision. Despite losing that split decision, he looked good against Hernandez. He was able to drop him in the first round. He's well-rounded. He has okay takedown defense. He has that aggressive forward-moving pressure and has some power behind his punches. His issue, though, and something that I'm concerned with, is that he likes to engage in these wild exchanges, which can leave him open to get hit. He's going up against Park, who is a solid grappler. He doesn't have the best takedowns, but his striking technique is nice, and he has solid counter strikes. When I watched his two fights in the UFC, he did get dropped. He got dropped in his last fight by Shannon Ross. He went in for a leg kick to the body, and he got dropped with a straight right. I think his path to victory would be to wrestle heavy and utilize his solid counter striking up against Tumendemberel when he's rushing in and being aggressive. I would like to see Tumendemberel be patient, utilize his range, and kind of find his shot. He already got his UFC debut out of the way, so I want to see how he looks in this fight. I am gonna pick the dog in Tumendemberel to win this fight. Who do you got, my man?
I mean, look, I got to go off the bat with my boy Park. I like Park. I like his winning streak. But again, this is a very close fight. The reality of the odds have these gentlemen. I think it's a 2-1 favorite, close to 3-1, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, look, like you called it best. He lost a split decision to Carlo Hernandez, and that's very impressive. Now, I think the key points to take away from this fight is basically Park goes out there to throw jab for jab, makes it a kickboxing fight, he loses. Now, if he makes this a wrestling, grappling, take him to the ground, put him in nasty positions, this is his fight to win. The question is, can he take him down? I think so. I think he takes him down, controls him. Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We are on opposing ends to kick off this fight, and we'll move on here to our next bout. We have some lightweights. Killian Sauki up against Anshu Jubli. Sauki is 7-1 and 0 and is 5 and 5 in their last five bouts, last beating Gage Young via unanimous decision, whereas Jubli is 7-1 and 0 and is 4 and 5 in their last five bouts, last losing to Mike Breeding via KO. Killian is the favorite at a minus 410, whereas Jubli is the underdog at a plus 320. Who do you got, my man? Who you rocking with in this fight?
Listen, we got to give the Zenzu being to my boy Quillian. With that reach, he's going to be doing damage from the outside.
Yeah.
Um, I think he picks him off. He's going to pick off Anshul. Like, I am leaning towards a knockout. I'm going to be 100 with you. I just like his hands a little bit more. I like the range. We'll see. It's a very intriguing fight. It's not a 4-1. That's definitely for sure. But I mean, look, from a bettor's perspective, I don't know, champ. I like to stay away from these 4-1. Like, unless we're doing a unity bet, like a unity bet. And as I was
Mhm.
saying before we started recording, if we would have bet, the unity bet for us is as long as we agree on a fighter, we bet $5. We would have won
Yeah.
last week. It would have been golden. Um, yeah, I got to go with my boy Quillian. I'm interested to see how Anshul just deals with this style and like length. I think that's what's going to be the very important factor here.
Yeah, and then looking at Salkilld, he has his striking isn't that bad. He likes to mix in his kicks and his body shots to look for solid entry points to take the ground to fight to the ground. He does excel in the ground game. He has solid Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I think he's going to look to bring this fight to the ground. He has aggressive forward pressure. And Jubli, on the other end, he does have good grappling and he does have okay striking. But I don't think he's going to want to engage in the striking exchanges with Salkilld. And he does struggle against people who have that forward aggressive pressure, right? We saw that in his last fight against Mike Breeden. I think Salkilld is going to maintain that pressure, maintain that pace, and he's going to pull out a victory here. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go with killing Salkilld to pull out the victory. Next
Yes, sir.
up, we have our guy, man, in Kevin Jousett up against Jonathan Micallef. I don't know why I want to say Micallef. We have Jonathan Micallef. Jousett is 10-3-0 and is 4 and 5 in their last five bouts, last losing to Brian Battle via KO TKO. Micallef is 7-1 and 0 and is 4 and 5 in their last five bouts, last beating Muhammad Adu via submission. Now, Jousett is the favorite at a minus 240, whereas Micallef is the underdog at a plus 200. I myself am going to go with Jousett. He has that solid judo background. And in his fight against Battle, he did a good job defending the takedowns. He also has really good kickboxing. He's training with City Kickboxing, and he's getting better. I think he'll prevent Micallef from taking the fight to the ground and piece him up on the feet. My only concern is how is his cardio going to look? In that Brian Battle fight, we kind of saw him wither away as the fight progressed, which led to him getting knocked out, right? So my big thing is how is his cardio going to look? Is he going to be able to, put that pace and put that pressure throughout the fight? Micallef is, he's characterized to be aggressive, forward moving style. He's known for his wrestling and his ground game. And I think if he's able to secure takedowns early on and control Jusei and tire him out, he does have a path to victory here. But I just think Jusei's takedown defense looked really good, so I don't think he's gonna have too much success. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Jusei to win this fight.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to kind of side with you, champ. I'm gonna have to go with. I like Kevin. I like Kevin for Battle. I think he was having success with Battle prior to Battle, stepping it up and putting the cardio bunny into full effect. But
Mhm.
with the judo, I think he neutralizes him. With Jonathan, it's not even about the hands. It's really about the grappling. But again, like I
Mhm.
think Kevin is going to come in. He's going to be stuffing, and I think he's going to get overwhelmed. And who knows? We might get a little stoppage. We're going to find out, champ.
We'll find out. So you're calling for a stoppage, huh? You think TKO? KO? You think you're gonna
I
knock him
think
out?
I think Kevin frustrates him and it gets something done because like Kevin's also good at submissions to. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we're both going with Kevin here. I think he gets it done, man. I'm pretty confident that he gets it done. Next up, we have Cody Steele taking on Rong Zhu. Cody Steele is the favorite at a minus 240, whereas Rong Zhu is the underdog at a plus 195. Steele is 7-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Chasen Blair via KO. Rong Zhu is 25-6-0 and is 4-5 in their last bouts, last losing to Chris Taco Padilla, who we picked as an underdog via KO doctor stoppage. My pick is simple. It's going to be Steele for the reason that he's known for his relentless pressure and his high cardio. He uses his combination in striking and grappling to keep his opponents guessing. And Rongju, although he's a good striker, he can engage in the striking exchanges. He has success when he's moving forward and he's applying the pressure, but he kind of falters or has issues with people who are making him move backwards and fight backwards. And I think Steele's pressure is going to be the differentiating factor here. I think similar to like Taco Padilla is going to push forward. He's going to apply the pressure. He's going to make Rongju uncomfortable. And I think he gets it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Steele. I think Steele is has a good package, good coach.
Yep.
I'm a little bit concerned. This is going to be a low for me. Like I actually have like I'm looking at my stuff. I have like two mediums, two low so far. But
Mm-hmm.
this fight worries me. Rong's 24 years old. Um, I think he was training with a different camp. He's training with City Kickboxing. I want to say
Now he is right for this fight.
yeah. Prior to that,
Mm.
Alpha Team, Alpha Male, and like yeah, man, it's such a I think I did a parlay. I'm gonna be 100 with you, but it is I'm low confident in this fight because if Rong Zhu shows up and
Mm-hmm.
decides like yeah, the only thing is if Steele cannot take him down and just relies on the striking, I don't know if he wins. Right? If he wins, if he could switch it up, I think that's when he's going to be the most. His most successful version is when he could switch it up because that fight against
Mm-hmm.
Blair, which had the body TKO, his pace is just so frenetic.
Yeah.
And
And I think you make a good point, right? If he's not finding the success in these striking exchanges, he can level change, look for those takedowns, and control him off the ground. He has solid wrestling. He has a wrestling background, so I think he has multiple paths to victory here. So I agree with you. I'm gonna go with
yeah,
Steele as well.
and like I said, maybe you do him a rob, even if you can't take him down in the first. Combine footwork, cardio, takedown, so striking. Combine them all. Combine, frustrate him because if Padilla exposed something, is that Rong Zhu starts hot and is quick. Because that's the thing about it. When I looked at the Padilla fight, I
Hmm.
was like, "Whoa, this cat has speed."
Yeah,
But as the round faltered in, he started to lose that speed. So let's
yeah.
see.
You make a good point. You make a good point.
Mhm.
Next up, we have Alexandre Topuria up
Oof.
against Cody Thicknesse. Should we say thickness or should we say Thicknesse? How do you pronounce that?
Good one, champ. I don't know.
We're gonna say Cody, eh? We're gonna say Cody
Let's take Cody.
Thicknesse.
Let's take Cody.
um, Alexandra Topuria is the favorite here at a minus 410, whereas Colby, I don't know why I said Cody, whereas Colby is the underdog at a plus 320. See, this fight was originally supposed to be Topuria up against Cody Haddon, I believe. And in that fight, Cody Haddon was the favorite and Topuria was the underdog. So the odds have shifted. Colby is 7-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Marvin Maluns via elbows, whereas Topuria is 5-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts, last beating John Segas via KO TKO. Now, a lot of media has been talking about, Alexander Volkanovski is going to be in Colby's corner, Ilya Topuria is going to be in his brother's corner, but aside from that, looking at the two fighters, you have Topuria, who's a solid wrestler. He has decent striking. He has power behind his strikes. He likes to push the pace, maintain the pace throughout the whole fight. He has good cardio, solid cardio. And Colby, on the other end, he's undefeated. He's well rounded. He has a solid stand up game and decent grappling. His grappling is not the best. He does have a record of 2 TKOs and 2 submission victories. I think for this fight, I'm gonna go with Topuria based on the fact that he is the better wrestler. He did have the full camp, and Colby is coming in on short notice, right? So how is his cardio gonna look? What's his game plan gonna be? Who knows? But I'm gonna go with Topuria here. I'm gonna go with Ilya's older brother to pull out the victory here, and also too, like looking at Ilya Topuria, right? He spends a lot of money on his personal like fitness and his personal health, right? Like he built a home gym where he spent like $2 million on his home gym, I think. And I think he's also committed not only to taking
Wow.
care of himself, but taking care of his brother and his family. So I think he's gonna prep his brother really well for his UFC debut. And I think we're gonna see him get the finish here.
Yeah, those guys train together, right? Those guys are blood. Like they're, it's personal, right? And
Hmm.
it's also 135, which is cool, right? I like his hands, man. His Topuria's hands look good. Like, um, yeah, I'm not really concerned. I just wish if this was Alexander Conquistador, the odds would have not have been a -410. Let's be honest with each other. People are expecting big things from this kid. I'm a little bit disappointed on the odd maker because it doesn't entice me. It doesn't really, you know. I'm gonna go with Topuria, but it doesn't entice me. I mean,
Yeah.
look, Thicknesse
And the
is.
re- and the reason they changed is because it's short notice, right? Short notice, so that's why he's the heavy favorite.
Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe Thicknesses can come out and surprise him. 25 years old. The thing to look at when it comes to Alexander Topuria's record is that loss he has. That was 10 years ago. That was a while ago. So how different has this guy have gone? Has gone. And then the other factor is like he hasn't been really consistent. So is it a matter of what my little brother is champion now? Maybe it's time, or has it been injury? Like what is it? What is it between the time? Because it feels like a coach going to work.
Hmm.
I think that's what I'm struggling a little bit with that. Um, it's
Also,
yeah.
that
Is it
that
because he wants to
loss,
be champion, or is it because like
but also that loss that you mentioned was up 2 weight classes. It was at lightweight, and he's fighting at bantamweight.
not true? That's also true. So I mean, look, this is a good. There might be money on Colby, champ. I'll be honest with you. With the right, it's just hard, right? Because like these guys, I don't think my man's gonna go with shitty. So let's go to Poria. I'll go to Poria with the medium.
Taporia with the medium. Okay, we're both
I'm
going
not
with
sure.
Taporia here. I think just he's had the longer camp. His brother, not only invest in himself, but I think he's also going to invest in his family, right, and prep him well for his UFC debut. So we'll see how he does, man. We'll see how he does. Next up, we have Cong Wang up against Bruna Brasil. Wang is 6-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Gabriela Fernandez via submission, whereas Bruna Brasil is 10-4-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Molly McCann via unanimous decision. These odds are interesting because despite losing in her last bout, Kong Wang is the favorite at a -440, whereas Bruna Brasil is the underdog at a +340. A lot of people are already counting out Wang because she got submitted in her last fight. And it wasn't like she got taken down, right? It's not like her Fernandez, shot for a takedown and then submitted her. She got hit, she got dropped, and then she capitalized on that and got the submission, right? So you look at Wang, she has solid kickboxing. The UFC loves to say how she beat Valentina Shevchenko earlier in her career, right? They always like to show that highlight or talk about it. She also has good takedown defense, despite being submitted in her last bout. She wasn't taken down; she was dropped. Bruna Brasil, you look at her; she's getting better with each fight. She's moving up in weight in this fight, and she's also training now with the boys over at the Fighting Nerds, right? So I think given that. they probably saw something in the last fight where they're able to formulate a game plan that's gonna be wrestle heavy. Something's telling me that Bruna Brasil is gonna look good in this fight. She's up in weight. She's gonna be able to secure some takedowns, and she's well rounded. She can strike and she has decent grappling. I don't think she's gonna. You know how I see this fight going. I see her tiring out Cong Wang, avoiding getting hit early on, and then going into a wrestle heavy game plan. She also has good cardio. So if she's able to close the distance, fight within the clinch, secure takedowns, drag the fight out, get Cong Wang tired, take away that early power that she's going to have with the striking, I think she can win this fight. I'm going to go with the underdog in Bruna Brasil to win this fight, man.
I gotta go with Bruna as well. We were talking about it yesterday. I
Hmm.
look at the calipers of who she's fought. Um, yeah, I mean, look, I just like. I'll be honest with you. I like the Molly McCann victory at the end.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we're gonna see. I just like I said, like a minus 440. I don't like that. I don't like because Wang has one kryptonite. That's grappling, man. That's grappling. Let's be honest with each other. Um, yeah, I mean, she fought 5 months ago, right? Like it's just
Hmm.
sorry, she fought 2 months ago, which is insane, champ. 2 months ago, UFC Macau. Yeah, I'm in the sideline and like, listen. The reality is, Wang has a higher percentage of winning this fight, but we're defying. I'm defying the odds, and I'm putting my money on Brazil, even if it's $10 to make 30. I just don't like this girl. Like showcased. Like I said, she got caught, but champ, she can't grapple. I think that's the issue. And Bruna, the striker, if she comes in, she strikes with her. I don't think she gets it done. She needs to tire her out. She needs to mix it up. She mixes it up, shoots for the takedown, strikes, shoots for the takedown, strikes. She wins this fight, even if she doesn't submit her. But you need to switch it up, similar to what do you call it, Cody Steele.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I just think she's like I mentioned, she's evolving, she's getting better with each fight and training with those boys over there, man, who do implement like a wrestle heavy game plan. She's gonna have some success. I just have this feeling, so I'm gonna go with Bruna Brasil. We'll see. But Wang is dangerous, man. She she
Right?
can fight that knockout, so I wouldn't be surprised if she does. But I'm gonna go with Bruna for this fight. Let's see what we got here next, man. We got Tom Nolan facing off against Vyacheslav Borschev. Nolan is 8-1 and 0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Alex Rea via unanimous decision. Borschev is 8-4 and 1 and is 2-5 in their last five bouts, last beating James Lontop via split decision. Nolan has long reach for a lightweight. He uses that reach to maintain distance and land strikes from a distance. He's known for being creative in his striking and having a good defensive not good defensive. He actually has vulnerabilities with his striking defense, right? It's been criticized in the past. You look at Borschev; he is the better striker between him and Nolan. I think he has good technique behind his striking, and he's really good, man. You saw it in the James Long top fight. He was able to piece him up, move in and out. I think Borschev gets it done here, man. I like
Uh,
Borschev at a minus 135. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Borschev to win this.
yeah, and I'm gonna have to side with Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan, I liked his I liked his fight. I liked his fight last fight against Reyes. He did very good. Martinez. Um, I like that he beat Grad, kind of that wrestler, um, Bogdan Rad, wrestler, striker, and I mean
We
that's
saw him
what
last week.
basically Borschev is basically.
Hmm.
He's just a more polished version of Grad. And does he get it done? I think he gets it done. I think that range, brother. I do not ignore range anymore. Now, if Borschev cannot get the takedown, which I assume he's getting a couple, um, he loses immediately. He can't go to striking with Nolan. Um, can't.
I think he can. He can go striking with Nolan. I think he gets in the pocket, man. And with that chin being suspect, I think he's gonna find it.
Well, he's gonna find the knee.
The chin. Oh,
Yeah,
the knee. You're saying the knee?
yeah. My boy starts to get close. That And this is the issue with reach span. Like you get the reach from the arms, but you don't got the reach from the legs. This kid has a massive reach from the legs as well. So yeah, I expect Nolan to win. Like I said, if Borschev cannot secure the takedown, it's going to be a long night for him.
All right, you're going with Nolan. Interesting.
Like
We'll move
24
on.
years old. I like him young.
A pause. Someone's gonna clip that, man. You're gonna be in trouble, brother.
My boy got a long reach. Listen, wait till we get to the Teixeira,
My
baby.
boy's talking about. Wait till we get to that, because I have a good counter argument for you.
Okay.
Just wait, brother, because I already know what you're gonna hit me with. We got Jack. We got Jack Jenkins up against Gabriel Sant. I can't speak today. Up against Gabriel Santos. Jenkins is 13-3-0 and is the underdog at a plus 190. He is 14. He is 4-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Herbert Burns via KO. Santos is 11-2-0 and is the favorite at a minus 230 and is 3-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Yiza via unanimous decision. Who you rocking with in this fight, my man?
Bro, I'm gonna be 100 with you. It's hard to go against Santos, man. I'm gonna be 100 with you, bro. Um, yeah, like it's just hard, man. Santos is that guy. Like Santos is top 15. Like he's top 15 quality prior to the UFC. Like, and I think he came in as a what do you call it, late replacement, and he fought Lerone Murphy, and we know, dude, that guy. I love Lerone. Lerone's made me good money, I gotta say. And then he fought David Onama. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with what do you call it, with the favorite. Um, yeah, I just like him that much, champ.
Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Santos here, and no disrespect to Jack Jenkins. He does have good striking and he's well rounded. He has multiple tools in his toolkit where he can win. He pushes forward, he gets you up against the cage, he likes to fight within the clinch. But Santos, his advantage here is gonna be his takedowns. I think he's gonna utilize his striking to set up solid entry points for him to secure those takedowns, tire out Jenkins, take away a lot of his strength and his striking prowess, and then engage in the striking. His striking isn't bad. So I agree with you. I think Santos is going to get it done. We're both going Santos, man.
Yeah. Like like champ. We got to face it. Sometimes these guys fight better opposition than their opponents, and
Oh,
both
really? I remember you said that. I'm remembering that right now.
clip it, clip it, clip it.
You already know when I'm going to use it. Next up, we have Jake Matthews, who is the favorite at a minus 220 up against Francisco Prado, the underdog at a plus 180. Matthews is 27-0 and is 3-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Phil Rowe via unanimous decision. Prado is 12-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last five bouts, last losing to Daniel Zellhuber via unanimous decision. I'm gonna go with the underdog in this fight, man. I like Prado. I was watching his film. He likes to move forward. He's young, man. He's aggressive. He can fight well in the clinch and inflict damage. He can blitz. He can blitz in. He has solid boxing. If you look at his two losses, he lost to Malarkey and to Zellhuber, and the reason they lost was because they were able to utilize his reach over him, maintain the distance, and he wasn't able to close the distance in those fights. But I think he has a chance to get into the pocket and hurt Matthews in this fight. You know, Matthews is he's a grappler. He likes to secure. His stats show that he secures 1.56 takedowns per 15 minutes. His issue and a criticism that a lot of people have is he doesn't do anything once he gets to the ground. So he does get these takedowns, but he doesn't do anything on the ground. He doesn't get busy, doesn't work. His striking is okay. He hits 44% of his strikes, but I think his path to victory would be to avoid exchanging with Prado and look to secure multiple takedowns and get busy. If he's just securing takedowns and not doing anything, I think it's going to reflect bad on him. I think Prado gets it done, man. I like him as an underdog here.
And what is this? This is welterweight, right?
This is lightweight. Oh, this is actually, I'm sorry. This is
Yeah.
welterweight. You're right. Welterweight.
So So you have Prado coming up. Now, first and foremost, Matthews is the bigger fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he had a very rough go when he tried to cut to lightweight. Man, he can't
Mm-hmm.
make. He just looks thin, and he's more durable at welterweight. I think with Matthews, he has shown signs of greatness, and at 30 years old, I think this is Matthews' fight to lose if he's not careful. But I think he takes it. He's going to be on a hometown. The Australians are going to be going crazy with this kid. Um, I want to welcome Mr. Prado to the welterweight division. Um, uh, just letting them know these boys hit hard.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen photos of Prado. He looks good, man. He looks ripped. I think he's gonna have more power at this weight class. I think he's gonna find Matthew's chin, man. I think he gets the knockout. We'll
Let's see.
see. I'm gonna go with Prado for this fight. We're on opposing ends here, man. Next up, we have a fight that I really am gonna stay away from. I could care less about this fight. We got Jimmy Crute up against Rodolfo Bellato, light heavyweight bout. Crute is 12-4-1 and is 1-5 in their last five bouts, last losing to Alonzo Menifield via submission. Bellato is 12-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating, did he beat? I'm sorry, I think I wrote this right.
What do you mean?
Yeah, last beating Ihor Poteria via KO. I wanted to make sure I read that right, but because Ihor Poteria, man, solid striker, but he last beat him via KO, TKO. Um, the big question for this fight for me, man, like without going into a breakdown, is who wants to be here more, right? Crute has had issues in the past where he's left MMA, he's retired entirely or momentarily. And then if you look at the fight with Porteria, Bellato, he looked exhausted. He looked sluggish. He got dropped by Porteria. Um, grappler versus grappler. Uh, I don't know, man. Who you going with in this fight?
I'm gonna go with Crute, man.
He's got
I
the
got
hometown buffer. That's what I have in my notes. Hometown buffer.
Yeah, it's that, but it's also like I like when fighters face tough opposition. Like I like that killers list that crew went through. That's a bunch of killers, man. I don't think like Bellato has had the opportunity to face that level of opposition yet. And he's gonna get on in the form of Jimmy Crute, and I mean we'll see. I mean, look, Puteria is gone from the UFC, so you got to take away that win away in a way.
No, I
Um,
can't do that. Don't do
well, let
that.
me ask you a question: like, how good would you say is Rodolfo's jab?
Mm, I wouldn't say it's the best. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Did
I
you
can hear
hear
you
me?
now. Go ahead.
I said I wouldn't say it's the best.
No, okay, then give it a crew.
You gonna
Because
give it to
listen,
Crute?
if you got range and you don't know how to use that range, brother, brother,
Yeah.
Sean
I
Strickland is good because he. Say, go ahead.
like I said, I'm gonna stay away from Sean Strickland. Oh man, we'll get to Sean Strickland in a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Crute, man. Based on the fact, like I like that you mentioned that he did fight like a killer's row of fighters, and I think his he's pretty well rounded. I think he will win the striking exchanges and his grappling. He's a grappling heavy mentality. I think he's gonna secure some takedowns. He's gonna have the hometown crowd, cheering for him. So yeah, I'll give it to Crute as well. But I'm probably gonna stay away from this fight.
It's a good fight for crew, champ. Plus 120,
Yeah.
hometown.
Yep. Next up, we have your boy, who you're very high on,
I'm very high.
Taliesin Teixeira, facing off against Justin Tafa. Teixeira is the favorite. He is 7-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Arthur Lopez via KO. Tafa is 7-4-0 and is 3-5 in their last five bouts, last losing to Carl Williams via unanimous decision. A lot of people I feel are high on Teixeira, not only because he's undefeated, but he's tall, he's athletic, he's fast, he has good boxing. His path to victory would either be to stay on the outside, jab up Tafa, not letting him get it in the pocket, or wrestle Tafa. but we haven't seen him wrestle, right? Like I was trying to look at footage of him on the ground, I didn't see any, so that kind of pushed me away from the Teixeira pick. I am gonna go with Justin Tafa in this fight, and for the simple reason that you look at Teixeira's record, he hasn't fought anybody of the caliber that Tafa's fought. And in that Dana White Contender Series finale, he was getting hit, man, up against the cage by Arthur Lopez prior to getting the KO. He was getting hit. And if you put Tafa in the place of Arthur Lopez, my man's not gonna he's not gonna be able to, take those punches from a heavy Samoan, man. I think Tafa, he can level change very quickly. He can hit you with that overhand left hook. He can get in the pocket. He's aggressive. He does struggle with the grappling. What was that? What the hell was that?
That
Your-
was
Was that
the
your
train.
stomach, brother? Oh, that's the
That was
train.
the train. That was the train, bro.
That was the train. And a lot of people are going to use the argument, well, Teixeira's tall. He has the length. He has the reach over him. People were saying the same thing when Justin Tafa went up against Austin Lane. He's 6'8". He has the advantage over him. Um, Yeah, if there was footage of Teixeira grappling, securing takedowns, being dangerous on the ground, I would lean towards Teixeira, right? Because he can utilize the striking and the takedowns. But striking alone, I think Tafa's gonna get it done, man. He's in his hometown. He's gonna have the buffer. Fun fact: he hasn't lost while fighting in Australia, and I don't think Teixeira is gonna be the first one to give him his L. I'm gonna go with Justin Tafa here. I'm gonna go with he's probably my most confident dog on this card. And you talk about the year of people losing their O. Well, I'm gonna give it to you, brother. I think my man loses his O here.
Okay, well, and still, you're gonna get and still, um, Tafa's never fought a guy like this, like with this range. This is insane range. Like, brother, this is like you and me fighting, you and us in opposite corners. As soon as you come in, bro, you're gonna be like, what? It's gonna get nasty, bro. This guy understands. Here's the thing about it: this man loses if he does not understand that Tafa is a reincarnation of Mark Hunt. You cannot allow him to get within your range. You
Hmm.
have your kicks, you have your jab. The kid also has power in his hands, right? If you look at all his finishes, they're all KO. The head KOs, hammer fist. Um, Holy shit! I just saw he beat a can like 14 wins and 15 losses.
Yeah,
My boy, what you doing? You trying to get comfortable before we go to the UFC?
he's beating dudes with records of 2-3, bro, 4-6. Like, what are we doing, brother?
Yeah, man. Listen, the bet's already. I already put a bet on my guy. My guy's taking it. Like I said before, if he can't, if God gifted you this range and you don't utilize it, it's your fight to lose.
Yeah, and I don't think he's fought anybody who applies the pressure and the pace like Tafa, who gets in your face, who level changes, who wants to get into the pocket, who pushes back, right? Like if I watched his fight against Matheus Fonseca, and he was the aggressor. He was pushing forward. He was having success. He was utilizing that range. He was making Fonseca fight backwards. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Tafa, man. I like Tafa here to get it done. He's in his hometown. I think the UFC saw the card and they said, listen, the boys on X, they're fighting us. They're saying this card is lame. Let's give him Tafa. Let's give him a knockout. Let's wow them to
It,
set up.
it, it's just I have a hard time. Like I look at the fighters that he's knocked out. Like Austin Lane, I think Teixeira knocks him out. Porter, I think Teixeira easily like dispatches of him. And that's the thing about it. I'm basing it off on his last kind of couple of fights. You
Mhm.
got to scratch up Carl Williams because Carl Williams is a grappler. Wrestled the man. My man said, you know what? He got in close. He got in the inside, applied pressure, and
Yeah.
just tired him out. But like I said, look, it's at minus 155. Both, like I said, I mean, bro, they got the odds right. I'm gonna be 100 with you
Well,
for
yeah,
the
he's
100.
undefeated, right? Yeah, of course, whenever there's an undefeated fighter, they're somewhat going to be the favorite, right, going into the
Should,
fight, especially
should
this
be a little
caliber.
more.
But the question is, are the lights going to be too bright? This is UFC debut. He's on the main card. There's going to be some nervousness, some jitters, man. Going up again. When you see that Samoan across the corner from you, tatted up on the side of his body, man, not scared. He's gonna hit with the nerves, and I could be proved wrong. I could be proven wrong, man. This guy could be the guy. He could be the guy, and
No,
I'm
he's
gonna
the
be here
guy.
on the.
Not relax
I'm,
with that, my boy.
no, I'm saying Teixeira could be the guy. If he surprises me, he could be the guy, and I'll be here on the post show being like, "Yo, you were right, brother. I was wrong." But we'll see. We'll see. I like Justin to win this
Let's see.
fight.
Let's see. Let's see.
He's in his hometown, man. I like it.
Let's see.
Next up, we have our co-main event. We made it this far, man. We have Wei Ling Zhang putting her straw weight title on the line up against Tatiana Suarez. You want to talk about the odds being disrespectful? They have Wei Li Zhang at a minus. Well, they have her at a minus 120 now. She's the favorite now. Okay, it changed. I was about to say earlier in the week she was the underdog. Remember, we posted it on Twitter. We talked about it off air, you and I. But now she's the favorite per Tapology. She's the minus 120 favorite, whereas Tatiana Suarez is the plus 100 dog. Zhang is 25-3-0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Xiaonan Yan via unanimous decision at UFC 300, which I was there for. Great fight. Suarez is 10-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Jessica Andrade via submission. What do you think of this fight, man?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm a bit upset about the odd makers. The fact that they had to kind of make this fight so close to it's super close. And I would have loved to see a little bit more skin. Um I don't know, man. Like the fact is I don't like Tatiana Suarez's hands. I don't like it. I just feel she doesn't have good hands, man. If they if if you fought if she fought somebody as good as her in the grappling, I think
Yeah.
it would have been hands wise she could get knocked out easily. I saw her footage. She's not still there yet. Zhang, the champion. You look at Rose Namajunas. And look, like I think she was not in the mental place when she lost those fights to Rose. Um, Came back, dispatched her opponents,
Mm-hmm.
basically annihilated um, Carlos Barza, and I don't know, champ. I'll be honest with you. I gotta go with Zhang here. And the reason why it's just these stupid odds, man. Like
Yeah, the sports books still have her as a underdog, which is crazy to
she's
me.
even. She's even in Bodog.
Yeah, look, the sports book have her at a plus 125.
Zhang, I like that.
Plus 105, I'm sorry, plus 105.
Yeah, and I hope that Vegas puts a little bit more money on her on so Suarez. Like this was for the longest time the uncrowned queen. This is the reason why, because they were like, well, if this girl gets you on the ground, you're in trouble. Um, I gotta tell you, man, Zhang has to be the strongest female fighter in the strawweight division. Even stronger than what do you call it? Suarez. Suarez has had too many injuries.
Yeah.
Um, the opposition that she's faced has been incredibly high. Um,
She's been inactive as well. She doesn't fight as frequently. Like you mentioned, she's been injury prone, she's inactive, she's had layoffs, and she's not young, bro. She's 34 years old. I mean, it's not like she's a 25-year-old undefeated, grappler, coming into her own. She's 34 years old.
the issue is that she should have contended for the belt in 2019.
Hmm.
That's when she should. That's when she, like after because Nina Nunes was coming out of hot streak,
Hmm.
and I think the winner of Nunes and her were supposed to fight for the title, but what ended up happening was the injury. And like, look, I think she's cancer free now. She's had
Yeah.
surgeries, LCL, and look, like the reality is like that Andrade 2023 Andrade. I mean, look, I think the best Andrade is the strawweight Andrade, but it's not the Andrade that we come to love. And Montana de la Rosa, that was basically a tune-up fight. I would have loved to see Suarez versus Jan DeRoba. I think that was the fight, or Limos.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Jan DeRoba should have been given Zhang, but the UFC said, you know what? Jandiroba's not a call. Let's give her the fight with Yan. If she beats Yan, and I told you, Yan and Jandiroba is the number one contender fight.
It,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Continue. I'm sorry.
no. I got my thoughts out.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people are banking on the fact that Suarez is such a good wrestler, right? She's a dominant wrestler. They're thinking that because Wei Li Zhang was taken down by Janan Yan in her last bout, that Suarez is gonna have success, right? She's gonna take her down throughout the whole fight. But Zhang has been in those championship fights. She's been through the ringer, right? She's been the 5 rounds, and I think, you know, not only that, she has good takedown defense. Despite being taken down by Janan Yan, she was able to scramble on the ground and get out of. She did have some moments where they were concerning, but she prevailed, right? And she won via unanimous decision, so it wasn't that concerning. I think, her striking is better than Suarez. I think, she has power and has technique. I think the cardio is going to be the big question here. How does Suarez's cardio look? Because the way I see this fight going is she might have success in the first round, maybe the second round, and then as we get into the championship rounds, you know, Zhang is going to pull away, right? She's going to show why she's the champion. And a lot of it's going to be based on how, like, I'm interested to see the live betting. Like, how does it look when Suarez shoots for the first takedown, right? If she's unsuccessful in that, I want to see how it's gonna proceed as the fight progresses, right? Because when you shoot for takedowns, it's very tiring, man. You get tired. So I don't see her being like a Merab Duvalishvili, right? Shooting for 25 minutes. Do you see her doing that?
No.
No, so we'll see, man. Her being inactive, her suffering from injuries. I'm interested to see how her conditioning and stamina is going to look as the fight progresses. I don't think she subs Zhang or gets her out of there early, but we'll see, man. She's the favorite for I don't know why. I think it's disrespectful to the champ.
Because she's the uncrowned queen. I think
She's
that's
the
the issue.
uncrowned queen. So
And
listen, there's a lot of before we get into the main event, there's a lot of underdogs. There's not a lot of I mean, there's a lot of undefeated fighters on this card. Which fighters do you think lose their O? There's about 5.
yeah. I mean,
They're
look.
not all gonna remain undefeated. Or are you saying they're all gonna remain undefeated?
No. They're all tough fights. I think that's the issue, right? Um, Park could lose his stuff if he's not careful.
You think Park?
Um, yeah. Cody Steele, if he doesn't mix it up, he could lose his O. Um,
Okay, so you're gonna say Steele and Park. I think Park, Teixeira,
Teixeira, if he doesn't,
and Suarez. I think those 3.
if Teixeira doesn't get Teixeira, like I said,
Teixeira.
like my only concern for Teixeira is that if he cannot, brother, it's like God telling you, bro, you're good at math. I'm gonna make you so good at math, and you pull up biology on me, brother. What are we doing here? What, you don't know how to? So let's not fuck around.
I do not get that analogy.
You did not get that?
I do not get that.
Okay, well,
You
bro,
pull up biology. What are we
you
doing?
like that, eh? My boy said biology. My boy said biology.
That's funny, man. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. That's gonna be one of the most intriguing fights. It's a fun fight, man. I actually put a bet on Tafa earlier in the week, so we'll see.
Also, we're colliding with bets, eh? So I got a bet as well on Teixeira.
Yeah, it's fine, and that's what makes it fun. It makes it competitive, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, we're both going with Zhang. Is that correct? Or you're gonna go with Suarez? You think she's
Yeah.
gonna
What was
rob Duval's really here? Just
bro? Give her at least a plus 200, dog. Give her at least a plus 200, plus 300. Like her, because bro, when you put somebody at a plus fighter, you're basically
yeah.
saying like she's like Habib. I don't think she's like Habib. Like,
The line is the line changing? Let's see the line. No, the line's been the same. It was at a plus 105 earlier in the week, so it's remained the same. I do think it's gonna change as the week progresses. I do think that line's gonna be more even.
grim, brother. That's the word of the word grim.
So we're
Like,
both going with Zhang, right?
yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to our main event. Middleweight gold is on the line. One of your favorite fighters is fighting. We have Dricus du Plessis defending his middleweight title against Sean Strickland. This is the second time they meet under different circumstances. The first time they met, Sean Strickland was the champion and du Plessis was the contender, right? Looking to get his hands on that middleweight championship. Now the roles are reversed. Du Plessis is 22 2-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Israel Adesanya via submission, where he was losing the fight, in my opinion. I think Israel Adesanya was piecing him up, going to the body. We talked about this before, right? He was able to knock him down and get that choke. Sean Strickland, on the other end, is 29-6-0. He's fought at welterweight and at middleweight. He is 4-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Paulo Costa via split decision. One of the most entertaining fights we've seen of all of 2024, right? Psych. Who do you got in this fight, man? I want to hear your breakdown before I get into it.
I mean, I got to go with DDP. He's just bigger than, he's bigger. Like, bro, the thing is, DDP was supposed to get tired, bro. Like the whole thing about DDP, you look at him, oh, his gas tank is running low. So my man needs to tire out, right? Strickland looked good, but he looked good against Paulo Costa, which is very, very different. And I think that's one of the things that we need to kind of, Paulo Costa's legit win was Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, we talked about it. He's been on a surprised he hasn't got his walking papers, right?
Nah, he's blessed. Like he's a draw. You can see he's a draw, right?
Yeah, he's a draw, yeah.
Yeah, this is such a very intriguing fight because the first bet I had Strickland. I was in Toronto. I got to see them both live. I put my money on Strickland, and
I rewatched that fight, and unpopular opinion, I think du Plessis won that fight. Do you think Strickland won that first fight?
Strickland didn't have power. That's the issue. Like,
do you think a lot of people are basing it on the fact that du Plessis was battered and he was beat up in the face and whatnot, and they're thinking that he inflicted more damage, he won the fight statistically and everything?
Yeah, even Dana had Sean Strickland winning, but it's just like I can't. I'm actually going to look at the Sean Strickland fight, like the strikes, but. And also why does Sean let him get a takedown? That's the other thing too, right? So I think that's a big issue with look at it right here, champ. So
how many times did he get taken down? I think he got taken down 6 times or 4 times?
He got taken down 6 times.
6 times, right? Yeah. He got taken down 6 times, and I think when you look at these two fighters, right? Du Plessis, he's sluggish. He fights he's one of those dudes, like, he just doesn't give up, right? He finds ways to get it down. He's sloppy in the way he does things, and I kind of like his style and I like his mindset. When you have a man saying, yeah, a lot of fighters are willing to die in the octagon, but are you willing to kill? I'm willing to kill a man. So, I like his mindset. It's a pretty badass quote. He said, I think Dricus, he successfully defended the title, and I think if you compare them both from their first fight to now, I think Dricus is getting better, right? I think in this fight, we're going to see him defend the jab more. He talked about Sean Strickland's jab and how it doesn't hurt, but it's effective, right? Because he constantly throws it, right? Sean Strickland has a very unique style where he uses that Philly shell. We've talked about it. 1-2, high knee, 1-2, he moves forward, right? That's his game plan. He jabs you to a decision. The one criticism I have for Sean Strickland is he doesn't have the sense of urgency or the killer mentality, right? When he has somebody hurt, right? He didn't attack the left eye of du Plessis in the first fight. He didn't go for the knockout. He played it safe, and maybe you could say that in that first fight, Strickland was the champion, so he was fighting more defensively to retain his title. But now in this fight, he's the contender, right? So is he going to apply more pressure? Is he going to take more risk? Is he going to wrestle? Do you think he wrestles in this fight? There's video of him. There's video of him training with Kyle Barallo. Do you think he's gonna incorporate some wrestling into this fight, or he's gonna be the same Sean Strickland that we see, the Philly shell? And
you're gonna see the same Sean Strickland. I mean, he just used to switch. Like like go for the kill, because the issue with Sean's style, and even in boxing in general, the jab
Hmm.
is an effective tool. Now, the jab alone wins fight, but doesn't finish fight. So, it finish fights
Hmm.
is it's how you set up that jab,
Perfect.
he's able to dominate just to keep you at range. And we got to
Yeah.
see Paulo Costa. He should have finished that fight. Why didn't he finish it? Because he doesn't like to take
Risk.
um, risk, and that's really what it is. Like,
Hmm.
he'll take a risk if he could outpace his opponent. Um, I would have loved to see a finish from Costa. I'll be honest with you, but he just said, "Nah, F it, brother. I ain't getting in that pocket." And that was a five
Hmm.
round fight. Um, yeah, I got to go with DDP. DDP, like, this is. I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I'm probably not betting on this fight.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm probably not betting on this fight. I do think DDP gets it done. I honestly think he's gonna be able to defend the jab a lot better, right? And then utilize more the grappling. I think he's gonna go for more takedowns in this fight. He did find success. He took him down 6 times. I think we're gonna see a lot more of that in this fight. And he does have some submission victories on his record, man. I mean, can we see him get a sub? Is Sean Strickland's defense on the ground that good? I mean, he was able to stand up right away and a lot of those takedowns right in the first fight. But we'll see what DDP does, man. Maybe he finds a choke. Maybe he gets him out of there.
Bro, the fact that he's beat in less than 2 years Till, Brunson, Whitaker, Strickland.
Yeah, he's a bad man, dude.
That's an impressive record. Like, that's Darren Till is no joke, and Brunson, man, like, um, there was a time where Brunson was contending for the belt, and Izzy stopped him around that
Yeah,
time.
look, he choked out Till. He put out Whitaker. He choked out Adesanya. Like he has a good record. You're right, man.
My boy is looking for the finish, and the thing is, the heavier fighter here is DDP.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you've seen the photos of Strickland. He looks a lot leaner. Have you seen him? Like
Yeah,
he looks a lot leaner. So is he gonna have a lesser power and more speed? We're gonna see a different version of Strickland? It's gonna be interesting, man. I want to see how Strickland approaches this fight. Something tells me we're gonna see the same version of him, right? Philly shell moving forward, just jab, jab,
yeah.
jab. But I don't know. I want to see a different version of him. I want to see
Well,
him take
what if
risks.
he gets cut again? What if Strickland gets cut? Like, because that's the whole thing. He's, oh, I was cut, and my vision, and I wish it. Okay, well, you're basically saying that if you weren't cut, you were going to win the fight. What if you
Yeah,
get cut again?
exactly.
It
What
goes
if you
away.
get cut again?
That theory goes away. Like,
And then looking at these two, who do you think out of both of them has a better shot against Hamza?
bro.
I think DDP. I think Hamza he beats them both regardless, right? But I think DDP has a better shot.
I mean, like, for numbers, you got to make Hamza versus Strickland, because those boys, my man,
Oh, can you imagine that press conference?
Maga boy versus the Middle East. My Strickland is a little bit hot headed. He'll say things that needs to be like, fucking hell, with, like, bro, you gotta
Also,
calm
you want to talk about saying things and doing things. DDP is a bad man. Did you see him rocking the shirt that says Trump loves champions? My man's already starting off with the mental games, and I can't wait to see the press conference because he got into his head last time, right? He upset Sean Strickland bringing up his dad and his past. We'll see, man. It's gonna be entertaining. I think DDP is an entertaining cat, man. I like DDP.
down. And they both have the same reach, right?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. Last time Sean was the favorite, I believe. I did have money on Sean, and this time I don't. I really don't. I just don't. Yeah, I mean, look, I look at who's faced the top for opposition, and DDP has faced the top for opposition. So let's go with DDP. DDP's gonna come in big as always.
Yeah, I think he said on he's currently the week leading up to the fight. He's at 210, right? He's at 205. I saw
Yeah.
a post out there. He talked about how he's 205. So yeah, man, he's a big boy. I think DDP gets it done. I just think he's evolved more. He's gonna be the better fighter, and as the champ, he's gonna defend his title, man. He's not gonna let Sean Strickland come in and take it from him. Because then what happens? We're gonna have we got to run it back for a third time. You beat me, I beat you. You don't want to see that, right?
But no, Hamza's next to contend for the belt though.
Yeah,
Those boys should have never fought each other. That's a miscalculation. If Dana White could look back at it, they would have given it to Hamza. I think.
Hamza should have had it a while. The issue is Hamzat's traveling issues, right? So
Well,
once that gets
they
resolved,
said no. They said
yeah,
no.
yeah. Once that gets resolved, has it been resolved? Is he going to be able to get to the U.S.? Yeah,
They said he's allowed entry. They said
he's
he's
allowed
good.
entry. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's
All
allowed
right.
entry. It's
But
pretty
yeah,
good
the
for him.
middleweight division is interesting, man. It's a lot of movement there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, there we have it. There's our full card breakdown, our picks, our bets. A lot of dogs on this fight. You know, people are criticizing this pay per view, but I think it's a scary one, man, because a lot of fights can go either way, right? There's a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not too confident. I am confident in the picks, but it's like I'm saying. There's a lot of dogs. There's a lot of undefeated fighters. A lot of debutants. It can go really
go either
bad or
way.
really good. We'll
Yeah,
see
and
though.
let's see, right? I think, like I said before, like I think Teixeira and Tafa fight is we're gonna learn where Tafa's at more than where Teixeira's at. We're gonna learn what the Tafa mindset is at, and yeah, I'm very curious to see what he's gonna do when he gets in his face because he has to clinch and drop knees.
Yeah, use
Uh,
elbows or do something, right? Because
bro, you got a range like that.
in that contender series fight, man, when he was up against the cage, he was getting hit. You know, he got the knockout, but he was getting hit. If you put Toph in that position, you think he's surviving those hits?
Nah, but I don't think he's as quick as the other guy though. I think that's also the other um, pressure cooker. It's not.
Mhm.
It's very different.
Yeah, it's very different. But there you have it, guys. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. We aren't going anywhere. We're doing well. We're going to continue to do well. Um, any parting words, my man?
Now let's take her home. We'll be live on X Saturday night, um, vibing.
Oh, real quick, we are live on X during every fight card. We do the immediate fight analysis, and in addition to X, we are live on YouTube as well. We drop shorts with the outcome of the fight. So make sure you tap in, like, subscribe, show some love. Let us know whether you agree with us. Let us know whether you disagree with us. We don't take anything offensively here. Always be respectful, show love. At the end of the day, it is what it is, man, right? Love what you love, do what you do. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.